Sometimes your path is in front of you, but your inner weakness makes you step back. That is why chapter 1 is not a chapter of failure. It is a chapter of exposure. It exposes what is happening inside a person when they are no longer able to carry their inner conflict silently. Because spirituality does not begin when you pretend to be above pain. It often begins when you finally become honest about your pain. Real transformation does not begin with pretending. It begins with truth. Arjuna does not pretend to be fearless. He does not act strong just to protect his image. He does not hide his breakdown. He reveals it. Because many people suffer longer than they need to only because they keep pretending. They pretend they are okay. They pretend they are strong. They pretend they are clear. They pretend they know what to do. But inside, they are collapsing. Your healing begins when your honesty begins. The moment you stop pretending is often the moment real wisdom can enter your life. Lesson 2. Your real battle is not outside. It is inside. The battlefield is outside, but the real war is inside Arjuna. Many people think their biggest problem is outside them. They think, my problem is my job. My problem is my family. My problem is money. My problem is pressure. My problem is other people. Very often, your greatest suffering is not the situation itself. It is what is happening inside you while facing that situation. The battlefield was outside Arjuna, but his trembling, confusion, sadness, fear, attachment, and collapse were happening inside him. And this is exactly how life works. Two people can face the same difficulty. One breaks, one grows. Why? Because the outer battle may be the same, but the inner state is different. They do not only talk about changing your outside life. They talk about understanding your inside world. If your inside world is in chaos, even a small problem feels huge. If your inside world is steady, even a huge problem can be faced. This is why inner mastery matters so much. Your thoughts matter. Your perception matters. Your emotional strength matters. Your awareness matters. Because life is not only what happens to you. Life is also how you meet what happens to you. But that is exactly why the teaching begins there. Because wisdom enters where pride ends. Lesson 3. Emotional pain can make you forget your strength. Arjuna had strength. He had skill. He had purpose. He had training. But in one emotional moment, he forgot all of it. This is a very human thing. Sometimes one painful situation can make you forget everything good about yourself. One rejection can make you forget your worth. One failure can make you forget your ability. One painful season can make you forget your purpose. One emotional wound can make you think you are weaker than you really are. This is what happens when pain takes over perspective. Pain narrows your vision. It makes the problem look bigger than your power. It makes fear look wiser than courage. It makes escape look smarter than action. It makes weakness feel like truth. Just because you feel weak does not mean you are weak. Just because you feel lost does not mean you have no path. Just because your mind is shaking does not mean your soul has become small. Just because your emotions are loud does not mean truth has disappeared. Many people need to hear this, because there are moments in life when your feelings lie to you. Your feelings may say, you cannot do this. You are not ready. You are not strong enough. You should run. You should give up. But feelings are not always truth. Sometimes they are only storms passing through the mind. And if you make permanent decisions in temporary emotional storms, you can damage your own destiny. It warns us about what happens when emotional pain becomes stronger than inner clarity. Lesson 4. Breakdown is not always destruction. Sometimes it is the beginning of wisdom. Arjuna's breakdown feels negative. It feels painful. It feels like weakness. But without that breakdown, the conversation of the Gita would not begin. If Arjuna had stayed proud, silent, and false, he would not have received the wisdom that changed everything. His collapse became the doorway to guidance. Sometimes the moment that embarrasses you becomes the moment that awakens you. Sometimes the moment you feel most broken becomes the moment you finally become open. Sometimes the moment you say, "I do not know what to do," becomes the first moment you are truly ready to learn. To understand that pain is not always punishment. Sometimes pain is preparation. Sometimes confusion is not there to destroy you. Sometimes it is there to bring you to a deeper truth. Sometimes life lets your old confidence break because it wants to build real wisdom in its place. That is why you should never hate every hard season of your life. Some seasons break your illusion so truth can enter. Some seasons break your pride so humility can enter. Some seasons break your false identity so your deeper self can awaken. So when you read chapter 1, do not only see weakness, see the sacred beginning of transformation. See the moment a human being becomes ready for higher guidance. See the moment where ego is shaken and truth gets a chance to speak. Lesson 5. It is not wrong to feel lost, but it is dangerous to stay lost. It shows compassion toward the struggling human mind. And that is important for your audience too, because many people already feel ashamed of their pain. They feel ashamed that they are overthinking, ashamed that they are afraid, ashamed that they are emotionally tired, ashamed that they cannot always stay strong, ashamed that they feel confused in important moments. But the Gita does not begin by insulting human struggle. It begins by showing it. That alone is healing. It tells you, you are not strange for struggling. You are not broken for feeling confused. You are not weak for feeling emotional. But at the same time, the Gita also shows something important. You cannot build your life by sitting forever in confusion. You cannot remain permanently in collapse. You cannot worship your sadness. You cannot make your fear your identity. You cannot turn your emotional state into your permanent home. You may enter confusion, but you must not build your house there. You may feel weak, but you must not decide that weakness is who you are. You may cry, you may shake, you may question, you may pause. But then you must listen, rise, understand, and move. This is where motivation enters. True motivation is not fake excitement. It is deeper than that. True motivation is the moment you realize, yes, I feel lost, but I do not have to remain lost. Yes, my mind is disturbed, but I can learn to steady it. Yes, I feel pain, but pain does not have to become my future. Yes, I am confused, but confusion can become clarity if I am willing to learn. That is real inner power. Today, millions of people are living in this chapter. They look fine outside, but inside, they are mentally exhausted. They are carrying fear of the future, pressure from the world, pain from the past, questions about purpose, confusion about decisions, weakness in moments when they need strength. Many of them do not need more noise. They do not need more pressure. They do not need more fake motivation. They need wisdom. They need something that understands their inner battle. They need something that speaks to the part of them that is silently collapsing. They need something that does not only tell them to work harder, but teaches them how to see clearly when their heart feels heavy. That is why this chapter is so powerful. It says, before action, understand your condition. Before victory, face your inner collapse. Before wisdom transforms you, honesty must open you. If we go even deeper, Chapter 1 teaches that the first step of spiritual growth is not perfection. It is awareness. Awareness of your attachment. Awareness of your emotional weakness. Awareness of your fear. Awareness of your confusion. Awareness of the fact that you cannot save yourself with ego alone. Many people think spirituality means always looking peaceful, always sounding wise, always acting calm. But that is not how it begins. Spiritual awakening often begins when a person sees clearly. My mind is not in control. My emotions are pulling me. My attachment is making me weak. My fear is shaping my choices. I need a deeper truth than my current thinking. Chapter 2. The truth about who you really are. After Arjuna breaks down in Chapter 1, Krishna begins to speak. But Krishna does not begin with a soft, surface-level answer. He does not say, "It's okay, just relax." No, he goes to the deepest truth first. He begins by showing Arjuna that his suffering is coming from a very deep confusion. And that confusion is this: Arjuna has forgotten who he really is. Because most human pain becomes so powerful only when a person begins to identify only with the body, emotions, temporary events, and outer situations. Krishna teaches Arjuna that the body changes, but the true self does not. The body is born, the body grows, the body becomes weak, the body dies. But the soul, the deeper self, the true essence of who you are, does not die. It is eternal. Krishna is teaching Arjuna, you are not just this temporary body. You are not just this moment of fear. You are not just this emotional pain. You are not just this passing confusion. You are something deeper, and this matters so much. Because the moment a human being sees life only from the body level, everything becomes frightening. Loss becomes unbearable. Change becomes terrifying. Pain becomes everything. Death becomes the greatest fear. Failure feels like the end. Aging feels like loss. Temporary pain feels permanent. But when a person starts understanding that the outer form changes while the deeper self remains, a new type of strength enters life. This is not the strength of muscles. This is not the strength of money. This is not the strength of status. This is inner strength. The kind of strength that helps a person stay standing even when life changes. Krishna is not speaking to Arjuna only as a warrior. He is speaking to him as a soul that has forgotten its own nature. And that is exactly what happens to many people today. They think they are only what the world sees. They think, I am my job. I am my money. I am my success. I am my failure. I am my appearance. I am my reputation. I am what people say about me. I am what happened to me. And because of that, they suffer deeply. Because all of these things can change. And when you build your whole identity on things that change, your peace will also keep changing. It begins rebuilding human identity from the ground up. Krishna is telling Arjuna, do not see yourself as small. Do not see yourself as only this body in fear. Do not see yourself only through pain. See deeper. You are not here just to react to life. You are here to understand life and live with wisdom. Lesson 1. Stay steady in pleasure and pain. Krishna then teaches Arjuna something that every human being needs to hear. He explains that heat and cold, pleasure and pain, gain and loss, success and failure come and go. They are temporary. This is a huge lesson, because most people destroy their own peace by treating temporary things as permanent truths. A difficult season comes and they think life is over. A painful emotion comes and they think they will feel like this forever. A failure